Sometimes you need a story like this to come in through from a correspondent of Man United who acts as a fly on the walls of Man United at Carrington and Old Trafford to really seize certain stories that are obviously coming in through from the club, from different sources. And I've always told you that Erik ten Hag cannot let Casemiro and Rapheal Varane exit the club of Man United at the same time. You know, it has to be a very planned phase to obviously get these players out. Welcome to this channel, United Matters channel it is. Ten Hag wants Casemiro and Varane to stay at the club of Manchester United. Rob Dawson at the helm of this story, but we are obviously going to bring you from the foundation, from where all this started from, and obviously present to you the creme de la creme of these stories and what our thoughts are onto this channel. Smash like button, comment and share. If at all you're watching us for the very first time, endeavor to subscribe to this channel so as not to miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. And Rokan David is my name. You can as well call me Aradi. And we thank God for the gift of life, and may the living to God bless you abundantly. It's obviously nice, and we are here doing the needful to present you the best that you guys deserve. Second video of the day, and I promise you today it's gonna be a marathon. Now let's start it off from where it really started off. It started off from Rapheal Varane, by the way, that Rapheal Varane is having offers from Saudi Arabia, you know, and then we got a story that Rapheal Varane and Casemiro are having huge offers from Saudi Arabia. There came Bayern Munich in the mix, linking Varane to Varane was linked to Bayern Munich, that Bayern Munich want him. Even Casemiro was linked to Bayern Munich, that Bayern Munich want to sign him, right? So after all that, there was a phase of relaxation, right? And now we are back to it again, because today morning, this guy is really credible. He's really credible, but he differs from the stories that we had at first. They were saying that Rapheal Varane and Casemiro are considering leaving Man United, you know. But Joseph Felix Diaz, who works for the Marca in Spain, has told us that Casemiro has received offers from Saudi Arabia, right, for the January transfer window. Have you heard that? He has received offers from Saudi Arabia for the January transfer window. Now, receiving offers is not bad, but it depends on your decision that you make. So even if offers have gone ahead to coming through, are offers done? Are offers, is the offer going to be accepted by Casemiro? That's the big question. Because for me, I don't mind about an offer coming in through. And when an offer coming through, that means there is a person who really has interest in your player. And every player who is really classy and talented will always have what we call, will always have what we call demand. Demand will be there to sign him, but the player will always make the decision. Then, yesterday, we got this story that United transfer chief, that is John Mata, flies to Saudi Arabia for talks, and club put Casemiro and Rapheal Varane up for sale. That story was reported by the chief sports reporter of the Daily Mail, that is Matt Higgs. Then, the transfer.com reported that United have received approaches from Saudi Arabian football clubs over the summer. So, this story also came in through today morning, and I think yesterday night. But flying to Saudi Arabia doesn't mean that we are obviously going to lose these players, because you can't phase them out at once. And secondly, you need to obviously see to it that you really gauge the best for your team. And it depends on whether Erik ten Hag wants or not. Because if the manager tells you, I don't want such and such a player, then why do you have to sell him? You get? Why do you have to sell him? Right? So there is no need to sell a player that the manager really still has interest in. And today, to put all that aside and obviously bring you the biggest story I've gonna hate to enjoy today is this. Erik ten Hag wants to keep Rapheal Varane and Casemiro at Man United in the January transfer window. The situation may change if the pair actively push to leave, but in that instance, Ten Hag would ask for the club to sign replacements, which would be complicated by the financial fair play rules. That is Rob Dawson coming in through from Man United, correspondent of the ESPN for the club of Manchester United, and he has gone ahead to put up a very huge story. And Ten Hag, trust me, in the situation where he is, he cannot let Rapheal, Varane and Casemiro leave. If you told me the summer, I would accept. But right now, before the summer, they cannot leave in the January transfer window because this guy needs these players. How many experienced players do we have who are really winners? You know, Varane, Casemiro, right? Who else? Bruno hasn't won, you know, apart from the Carling Cup, has gonna hit win at Man United, the Carabao Cup. Rashford has not won. I'm talking about perennial winners, players with experience and mentality to obviously win. So you see to it that in that entire squad, we only have 2 players who know what winning is all about. So how can you get rid, you know, how can you get rid of yourself players like Casemiro and Varane that bring the seniority into your club? You get? So I'm happy for this story, and I think I'm gonna hate obviously tell you on different occasions that for Casemiro, I don't see him leaving. I don't see him leaving. And for the player called Rapheal Varane, if you tell me you have a Todibo in that defense of Man United, then you can allow him go. You know, one, he's an injury-prone player. He's rarely available. To be a top player, you have to be able to play 2 games per week. Rapheal Varane can't. He can do that for 2 weeks. 3rd week, out for a month and a half. Then he comes back, plays for 4 weeks, then he goes back. Meaning that he is not that caliber of player, and is obviously showing us that he's really shrinking every time he's shrinking ever since he really hit his 30 years, you know, his 30-year mark. And for him, if we get in a replacement, that's okay. But for Casemiro, I would love to see him at the club of Man United. I don't want him away. I want to see him at the club of Manchester United to give us the best of the best, because I believe Casemiro still has 2 seasons in him that can come and obviously see the likes of Kobe Menu groomed, you know, that Danny goes, you know, and maybe another midfielder that Erik ten Hag might bring in through, because he is the best CDM in the world, or one of the best CDM in the world. And because we started off badly, I saw panelists coming in front saying that he is a huge drop-off. It was a waste of money. How do you spend 70 million pounds on a player like Casemiro? But us who knew what it meant to get in a CDM, and we've been really claiming for it, or crying for it for the past 5-6 seasons at the club of Man United, we are really excited, because if you want to fix that position, you don't need a player who is an amateur. You need a player who's going to hate to do it. That's why when Casemiro was watching the game of United versus Brentford, and we are conceding 4-0 away at the Community Stadium in London, he sent his agent a message that, tell them I'll fix it. And he came in through and fixed it. And this season, I think he's obviously going to be very, very good in the Premier League, because we are out of the Champions League. He's going to be playing 1 game a week, and he'll be having another steady Eddie body in the midfield with him, that is Amrabat, meaning that we are going to be having a strong midfield than the one we had last season. You know, our bench is obviously going to be looking great, and Casemiro for me is still here. But for Rapheal Varane, if at all you tell me his days are numbered, I'll understand, but we need to obviously get in a quality defender, you know, a quality defender. And if you're not getting in a quality defender, we would rather keep Rapheal Varane here. That is it. You keep him here to see to it that you need him in those big games. You saw his leadership when you're playing against Liverpool, how he organized that central defense. That's what he gives you. But the problem is he cannot give it to you in 10 consecutive games. Not because that he lacks consistency, but because of him being an injury-prone player. But I'm really excited that Erik ten Hag wants this duo to stay, formally playing together at Real Madrid. And if you want to obviously instill the leading culture at the club of Manchester United, winning culture, winning mentality, these are the best players to be having at the club of Man United. And I know we are going on the drawing board to see to it that we really win the possible games and really complete ourselves in the top 4 as we see how our next season is going to be at the club of Manchester United. So smash the like button, comment and share. If at all you're watching us for the very first time, endeavor to subscribe to this channel so as not to miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. Tell me your thoughts about Ten Hag wanting Casemiro and Rapheal Varane to stay. Are you in the same boat with Erik ten Hag? For me, I want them to stay. You know, I want them to stay. But for Rapheal Varane, if there is a replacement, it's okay. But for Casemiro, I want him to stay here for this season and next season. Then later, as his contract runs down for 2 years, then he will obviously find himself really leaving. And remember, these players are really on what we call gigantic contracts, astronomical wages. Casemiro is earning £350,000 a week. Then Rapheal Varane is earning £300,000 a week. So it shows you that both earn close to £700,000 a week, you know. And I think United might be really wanting to obviously get some off to reduce their wage bill. So your thoughts onto that are welcome in the comment section below. Hope you side with me. If you don't side with me, tell me your reason. And if at all you side with me again, your whys and therefores are welcome in the comment section below. And for that reason, we call it quits. We are returning with more news and information about the side of Manchester United. Sancho contract termination considered. Have you heard that? And Fabrizio Romano is going to hit to obviously drop a huge hint for Todibo. I'm out.